September the 20th, 2015, Portland, Oregon. My dearest Gertrude, I have but a minute to take pen to paper in hand and write you regarding the events of the day. We had another great battle on Sunday along the banks of a small stream called Tanner's Creek against an army called the Red Bulls. It commenced at 2 o'clock and continued for 90 minutes, plus stoppage time, but in truth the fight was over as soon as it had begun. Our 11 men at the front were quickly felled by the enemy's relentless fire as our 5,000 soldiers behind them tried to maintain our spirits. I never had spent such a Sabbath in my life before I have seen the horror of soccer. I had to stand sentinel duty at the Twitter account all day and night where I could see all the wounded soldiers. It was the saddest thing I ever saw to hear the moans of our wounded and dying egos. Even our best efforts were hindered by the incompetent leadership of General Wilkinson, who seems to undermine Captain Porter at every turn, providing him with inadequate personnel and insufficient provisions. Yet President Paulson will never betray his right-hand man, so we are left to fight with the best men we have, knowing in our hearts we are nowhere near the superior outfit in this war. In our darkest hours, we seek comfort by singing the strains of You Are My Sunshine and Can't Help Falling in Love, as we try to drown out the horrific sound of our men being slaughtered all around us. But now our voices start to waver, and I question how long we can go on. Paulson sent a delegation of former company men to lift morale by regaling us with tales of battles past, but it proved little comfort. The futility of the sacrifice of good men for the endeavor of placing sixth has left a bare spot in my soul that no nostalgia can fix. He continues to assure us the playoffs are a just and noble cause, yet many of us have begun to wonder what it is we're fighting for. We continue to suffer more casualties than we inflict, and, should we survive long enough to reach the final battle, we will surely meet crushing defeat on enemy ground. And, should some sixth-place squadron, through a stroke of good fortune, ultimately prevail against all odds, what shall we make of it? Are they to be anointed as the most powerful army in the land, more so than that of even Generals Arena or Robinson? What solace is there in winning a few battles after losing an entire war? So many good men, and ultimately our pride. Opium and the Yamhill pub relieve the pain in the aftermath, but nothing provides solace to the men whose life, despite our efforts, slowly ebbs from him. My prayer is that now, at long last, Paulson will understand the futility of further resistance and do the honorable thing by surrendering. His men leave the army by the hundreds. Sick, wounded, and exhausted fans talk a spirited game, and many are still full of bluster, but their bravado is paper thin. There is a desperation behind their eyes and a sense of anguish in knowing in their hearts that the game is up. Dear God, make it so. Yet, with a brigade of over 20,000 willing recruits and a waiting list of some 10,000 more, I fear there is no incentive to change course, happily content with our mediocrity and the vain hope of recapturing the fortuitous success of 2 years past that now feels like but a distant fever dream. Gertrude, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me with mighty cables that nothing but omnipotence can break. And yet my love of Team comes over me like a strong wind and bears me irresistibly with all those chains to the battlefield. How hard it is for me to give up the memory of all the blissful moments I have spent with you, and burn to ashes the hopes of future years when, God willing, we might still have lived and loved together, and see our boys grown up to post their own rants on Twitter about their favored club. I will try to write again should we survive the Battle of Columbus that looms ahead. I had hoped to send you the $30 we received in pay this month, but I needed to purchase the latest front office scarf to keep my body and soul warm through these difficult times. Please shower our children with hugs and kisses. Let them know that their father is safe and that, God willing, he will return home soon. If I do not return, my dear Gertrude, never forget how much I loved you, nor that when my last breath escapes me on the battlefield, it will whisper your name. I am forever yours, Nathaniel Harrington.